Nether's network time!
Yes, latest news.
I think it's safe to say that the DC cinematic universe, as it will come to be known,
Mm-hmm.
has been quite confusing for a lot of people.
Yes, it has.
I mean, even for us, as people
Yeah.
who make a concerted effort to try and stay up to date on this stuff, it's been a bit confusing at times.
It has, especially with some of James Gunn's vague comments at times on things.
He has been quite vague at times, but the good news is he has made a concerted effort over the last 24 hours to try and clear up some stuff and make it a bit neater and tidier and less confusing.
Yes.
So we'll start with that. So James Gunn has confirmed that John Cena,
Mm-hmm.
Freddie Stromer, Viola Davis, and Zola Maradona
Yep.
will keep their roles as Peacemaker, Vigilante, Amanda Waller, and Blue Beetle, respectively.
Yes.
We are not led to believe that these are the only actors keeping their roles,
No.
but these are all definitely keeping their roles.
Yeah. And fully confirmed.
Yes. But there might be more. We can hope there's more. I mean, originally we only had confirmation of Cena, Viola, and Zolo. Freddie Stromer was announced about 20 minutes before we started recording.
Yes.
So there might be a couple more to come, but they are all locked in. James has also given some more clarity on the DCU.
Yes, he has.
And what it entails. So he's been very clear. Nothing is canon until Creature Commandos, which is the animated show that is coming first. He also said it's okay to be confused. It's very much in human nature to want to know everything that's going on right now.
Yeah.
But you don't. So just have a bit of patience.
Yeah. Bear with.
He then reiterated nothing so far is DCU.
Yep.
Stuff may feel familiar. They might redo some stories they've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Like the joke of every Batman film has to have Bruce Wayne's parents getting killed.
Yep.
Like, you're going to see stuff you've seen before or storylines you've seen before.
Yep.
And you might see faces that you've seen before doing the same role, like John Cena as Peacemaker. But it's all brand new.
He did also, I think, mention that some plot points may still be relevant to that character, but it doesn't mean that what you saw as a plot point and exactly how it happened is canon.
Yes. Which we've discussed a little bit before about how they might do that and how that might be a case of the timelines are similar, but not identical. So there's a chance of redoing all stories we've seen before. I don't think that's a big surprise. And it is a completely fresh start. Some people are just staying in their roles because they're the right person for the job. So the Blue Beetle film we've seen has it's not a DCU film. It means nothing. But Zolo is still the Blue Beetle.
Yeah. And something tells me a lot of the plot points and things that happen in that film also happen to the DCU Blue Beetle.
100%. It's very possible. But nothing that you have seen is DCU until Creature Commandos. Yes. Ironically, he referred to it in his tweet as CC. So we are now canon, Hori. Say what you want.
We are the beginning of canon.
Yes, we are the canon. I'll be honest. As someone who at first thought I understood what the DCU was going to be and then slowly got more and more concerned and confused as time went on, it felt very, very nice to have this
clarity.
Yes, have it tidied up and just like, especially, I don't know why, out of all of this, I'm going, it's okay for you guys to be confused right now. You have no idea what to expect. You've not seen anything and you're desperate to know because you care so much.
Yep.
I was like, okay, he's aware at least of how confusing it seems.
Yeah.
Which is actually really weird. It's like when someone knows you're upset and they're like, I know you're upset, just give me a minute and we can try and like get through this. And it was helpful.
With how vocal he has been on social media already about the DCU and different things, as things were coming out, and he's been like open on Twitter explaining things. I was a little surprised this hasn't come sooner, But it doesn't surprise me that, like, after that last interview where he mentioned about, oh, Blue Beetle is the first DCU character, but it's not a DCU film, he's obviously probably come out of that and gone, I've probably just confused a lot of people with that. And then he's waited a bit. He's like, okay, I see you're all confused. I know that you're confused. I've come into this and it was a mess. I am setting things up. But don't worry, like you, I like some of these things that have already been done. I'm figuring out how to keep these things. Here's the explanation. Bear with me. I know you like DC. I also like DC. I'm doing it right, sort of attitude is what I get.
And at the end of the day, not to blow our own horn, me and you are
Hmm.
very good at taking, like, I think our media literacy skills are quite high. So once we start getting DCU projects, we'll be able to break out and work out pretty quickly what is and what isn't relevant.
Yep.
And that, and I mean, not just us. There are tens of thousands of people who are so good at this stuff, and you will get timelines and explanation videos that explain what plot points are relevant to Blue Beetle, Peacemaker, and like
Yeah.
what minor differences there might be. And if anything, it'll be fun to go back to a potentially simpler time where everyone's like trying to piece together a bit of timeline to work out what's happened.
Yeah.
But it's nice to feel acknowledged.
Yeah. And I saw the best explanation was, so this is just like comic books. Some of the old stuff matters, a lot of it doesn't. We're in the new era. Like,
good luck working out what is relevant. Good luck working out what happened to what character. Yeah, 100%. It's like it's like when you say like, oh, the Flash did that, and I'm like, okay, Jay Garrick, Barry Allen,
Yeah.
Wally West, which Flash?
So
It is what it is. We'll work it out.
exactly.
And we'll enjoy the ride. Hori,
Yes.
I'm sure you're well excited for this.
Very.
Gen V episode 1 comes out now. It's already out if you're listening to this. It's not out for us yet because we're in the past. Let us know if it's any good in the comments. 29th September for those who are not watching the day it comes out because you know you might have other stuff to do. Gen V episode 1 comes out. It's sitting pretty on like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Interesting.
I'm excited for it.
I'm realizing.
Have you even started The Boys yet?
Yeah, definitely. so far through The Boys. So far.
All I will say is the one of my recommendations that you actually watched, Invincible, you adored. Therefore, I have 100% win rate, so you should watch The Boys.
I have no doubt that I'm sure I will enjoy The Boys. But as with everything in my life, I need close deadlines to get me to do anything. It took you telling me on a Monday, we're doing the Invincible thing this week, and I was like, shit, I need to watch this.
Here is the problem. I can't say to you, we're discussing Gen V episode 1 next week, because there is no realistic way you can watch 4 seasons of The Boys by next week.
Doubt.
It's like 10 episodes each, and they're an hour each. And then you've got that. That's 40 episodes. That's 40 hours plus Gen V episode 1, which is 41 hours.
Easy.
Okay, well, we're discussing Gen V episode 1 next week then, ladies and gentlemen.
You think I won't binge The Boys?
Let's do it. Fuck it. Let's cook.
This is why I'm going to regret this now.
Yeah, I didn't want to paint you into a corner, but you said you can do it. There you go, chat. I did not peer pressure him here. I gave him an out. No, don't start backtracking.
No. I'm just going to say, if we don't discuss Gen V next week, we all know it's my fault.
100%.
So, I've made my bed. I will lie in it.
I'm sure you won't at all get distracted by Cyberpunk or any other game like CS2, which is
there's definitely no other game that just came out that I could very easily get hooked back into after 6 years.
Oh yeah, the fucking New World update came out.
Oh no, I'm on about CS2.
Oh, okay, cool.
I used to be, this is a sidetrack now, but I used to grind CSGO. So
Were you good at it when you were a young man?
I was only 6 years younger. I was already on the way down.
Oh yeah, you were already
So
ancient. Oof,
I'll be as good as I
tough
was.
times. 6 years ago, you were a little bit younger than I am now. To be fair, you're what?
I was 22.
360 now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Christopher
Generally
Nolan.
is out now. Yeah. Oh, okay. So I know we just said how franchise films are inherently bad, and although we are hypocrites for that because we also enjoy franchise films,
Well,
let's talk about one of my favorite franchises, James Bond.
a franchise that
feel
is
like-
done right, though.
Yeah. I feel like I've said so many times that James Bond is actually one of my favorite franchises. And it works because they are quite infrequent.
Yep.
And it's a childhood thing where I don't even know if I have them anymore. But I used to not have a DVD player, even though I am the age of a DVD player. I used to have a video player.
Mm-hmm.
And what my grandma would do is she'd go to car boot sales, and she'd get all of the old James Bond films on VHSs.
Yeah.
And they would be the films I had. So I would just watch all of the old James Bond films all the time. I fucking adore them. They are cinema.
Yeah.
So imagine my fucking delight when there is a very strong / heavy rumor. I mean, Hori could tell my delight because it's in block capitals. That Christopher Nolan might be doing not just one, but potentially 2 James Bond films that are both going to be true to the Ian Fleming books and set in the original 40s.
Oh.
Yeah.
So this isn't going to be a follow-on to...
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
This
interesting.
is going to be true to the book. This is a World War II spy, James Bond.
Ooh, I like this.
Yes.
I was just reading this as like, so they don't want to announce the next James Bond, but okay, Christopher Nolan's going to be making them. That's what I thought they were going for with this. But no, okay. That's interesting.
Because I've long been of the opinion that James Bond is actually an alias. And I know this is like a very popular fan theory. Just because of the way the films have done, not from the books, but because in the films you've got so many different faces and his name is so well known. You're like, this is terrible for a spy. You shouldn't be this well known. So it becomes like the British Secret Service's boogeyman. Whoever their most dangerous spy is James Bond.
Yeah.
Because that just makes sense. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, James Bond is coming for you, and they just shit their pants because all of these legends of James Bond, where this man should have died, but he's still coming, it's because it's a different guy. So the idea that they can then just do a reset and go, okay, this is the James Bond. This is the guy who was so terrifying that we kept his name around as a legacy.
This is the person that was such a successful agent that cemented the Bond title as a recurring title that's passed on.
And also, depending on when they set it, we could have very much like James Bond hunting Nazis, which I'm so down for. I'm so down for. So yeah, this is not often I get like this excited over potential fanfare. No one knows if it's really real news, but I read this and I was like, yeah, sign me up. I'm in.
I'm all for them doing this as sort of a stopgap before they bring on a new Bond.
Yeah. Because they said they wanted to give it a bit of a break.
Yeah, they did.
So if they give it, say, 2 or 3 years before his first one's done, another 1.5 years until the second one comes out.
Yeah.
Then that will have been like 5, 6, maybe 7 years since the last modern one, which is a perfect amount of time for us to get a modern James Bond again.
There'll be hopefully a fresh new landscape in the UK that they can base it around and be relatable to.
What I want to know, are there any actors currently cutting about who look like a young Christopher Lee? Because Christopher Lee, Count Dooku, Dracula, however you know him, because the man's the GOAT, you'll think of him from as Sauron, won't you? Sorry.
Yeah. That's probably the first.
Ian Fleming based James Bond off of Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
So if there's anyone cutting about who looks like a young Christopher Lee, that they should just get the role, even if they can't act for shit. We'll find a way to
Has
make
Christopher
them good
Lee
at
got a
acting.
grandson?
This is literally exactly what I was thinking.
Has he got a grandson that, like, you put him next to like an old photo of Christopher Lee, like, I see the genes.
Yeah. It's just like the joke about how Tom Holland looks like a young Stan Lee.
Yeah.
And that's why he gets to be Spider-Man. But yeah, I'm so excited, especially after watching Oppenheimer. It shows he can capture that period of time so well.
Oh yeah.
I'd be so down. And I mean, I'm a sucker for a spy thriller. A good spy thriller hits in. It's probably why Winter Soldier is my favorite Marvel film.
True.
Like just that espionage element just fucking hits. Oh, I love it. I really, really need to start thinking about the order of which.
I was thinking of how excited you were
together. Yeah,
with the James Bond, and I'm like, this is going to be a tough one to roll into the next news.
I really, really need to, after I write down the Nerd News Network stuff, put it in a more thoughtful order.
Yes.
This is genuinely heartbreaking news. Dumbledore actor Michael Gambon, Sir Michael Gambon, passed away today.
He did.
Apparently, it was very peaceful. Apparently, it was in hospital surrounded by his family. But my God, does that suck?
83? He's in the early 80s, I think, wasn't he?
Yes. He was 83.
There we go. Yeah.
Stunning actor.
The sad news.
I didn't realize how wickedly funny he was. A lot of people who've worked with him have spent a lot of today tweeting about his sense of humor.
Well, we've seen
which is
some
quite
of that
nice
in the behind the scenes of the Harry Potter stuff when he like joke with the kids and stuff.
And of course, like Michael Gambon is potentially one of the best recastings of all time.
I was going to say, like, he stepped into some big shoes to fill.
Yeah. So of course, in the first two films, Richard Harris played Dumbledore. Was it the first two or just the first one? I think
it was just the first one. I could be wrong.
No, he was in the Chamber of Secrets as well.
Okay.
It was then after that he passed, and Michael Gambon had to fill his shoes.
Yes, he did.
Which is no mean feat.
No.
And he absolutely did it with such grace in a way that I didn't even really realize was possible. But yeah, I mean, it's so sad. I mean, it feels like we're starting to get to the age now.
I was about to say.
Where actors from stuff we love are starting to pass. We had it with Robbie Coltrane not that long ago. I mean, about a year ago now, or maybe even less.
We're at that point where, unfortunately, Harry Potter, when we were young, already had a lot of older actors and actresses in that film. And they've only got older. We've unfortunately already seen quite a few of them go. And it's not going to stop with Michael Gambon, unfortunately.
And I think the thing that actually makes it suck a lot more, and I'm not sure if this is just for us as British people, is because it was such a British cast.
Yeah.
A lot of them you will have seen on other like BBC and ITV stuff that might not have made it to America. So like Alan Rickman and Robbie Coltrane and Michael Gambon and everyone, you feel like you saw them a lot growing up because you did. So as a result, they are so deeply ingrained in so many childhood memories that it really, really sucks.
It does. It's a shame.
But yeah, it really, really sucks. And with the tour just being around the corner, I'm sure there will be some kind of
I saw
memoriam put up around there.
A great clip that I'd forgotten was a thing, which is when he was on Top Gear.
Oh yeah.
And he got the corner named a Gambon Corner. And because I remember I rewatched it and it's like the lap he does in the reasonably priced car, which to any viewers outside of the UK or who weren't that era of Top Gear, like that man sent it in the car. He was fearless.
My man feared nothing.
Yeah. And he was so like jokey about it. Like he was like, "Oh, I didn't even think about it," and it's just like,
You said to do it as fast as I could,
yeah,
so I did.
yeah. It's like there's a when he goes past the tower and Clarkson's like, "Oh, it's science," and he's like, "Well, you meant to get close." It's like the man was great. It's a shame to see him go.
And yeah, and I do really feel for like your Rupert Grints, your Emma
Yeah.
Watsons, and your Daniel because they grew up on that set around him.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to really hit home for them today, because yeah, it's someone we grew up watching and we loved them for the characters they played in our childhood.
They
They
spent
knew them as an actual person that they grew up with.
yeah, they spent a huge portion of their life growing up with them.
It'll be like potentially losing an
Losing
uncle or a grandparent for
yeah.
them. Um, so it's probably a really shit day for the young actors of the Harry Potter franchise.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,